if you're watching us, you know that this is live coming to you from in Louisiana. We're in Lafayette. By the way, anybody know the source of the word Lafayette? What language is that from?
French.
Is that right? French is an English word.
It's an English word. Lafayette is an English word.
Is that right?
It's an English name.
Yeah. Français. Parlez-vous français? Oh, you didn't know I could speak that Irish stuff, huh? Yeah. On next, we can speak that French stuff. Yeah, Mercy Buttercup.
Howdy.
Merci beaucoup. Mercy Buttercup. Translated. Anyhow, okay. I'm through playing around for at least 60 seconds. So we're going to go back to our subject. We've been talking about something called dorora, and then, which is difficulty. Roksa, which is a concession, meaning that there is something in place to take care of the problem. We mentioned that it's permissible, actually it becomes mandatory to eat pork. It's mandatory to eat the khanzir if you will die if you don't eat it, because you don't have the right to kill yourself. So you can't say, well, I want to be real righteous, I'm going to be a super, I'm so righteous, I'll just go ahead and die and not eat the pork. It doesn't work like that. So we have to. We don't have to like it, and I wouldn't like it, you wouldn't like it, but we would have to do it. So this is how we understand that Islam has something in place for adjustment for just about anything you can think of, except one thing. Never ever do we work on trying to readjust La ilaha illallah. There never is any other God for us. Nothing is going to take the place of God in our hearts and in our minds. We always put God first. That has to be. Because if we change that, we're not a Muslim anymore. We're out of Islam. We cannot change La ilaha illallah, la sharika lah. That doesn't work. So some people, maybe they'll take that to another level and they'll start trying to tweak it and make everything look the same. Some people will do that. And that's called extremism. In other words, what I just said, well, they would never eat pork, even though. And you say, but there is permission because no, won't do it. So whenever we see people going to extremes, this is something to avoid. If you mean to be a moderate Muslim, if you mean to be well balanced, that's already in Islam anyway. We don't need you to add that. Have you said, well, you need reformation? We don't need that. We just need to go back to the very source to begin with and see what does Islam teach us about these subjects. On our subject tonight, and what we're talking about, is the very critical importance of establishing in our homes, in our lives, the real Islam, not by mouth, just the mouth, no. Not just being able to recite the Quran, but understanding what does it mean and how it applies in my life. Then we are building something for our children. We're building something for them more important than building a house. We're building something more important for them than an education in secular, if you want to use that word, university. We're building something more important even than a career as a doctor or an engineer or any of the things we could come up with, because you're building something for them to be able to live and die as true Muslims. Qala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Almighty God, He says in His revelation, which is called Quran, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Here in chapter 3 of the Quran, which is Surah Al-Imran, verse number 102. This is when God Almighty tells us something very critical. When He said, "O you who have come to this right belief, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu." Then He tells you to have taqwa. and I've said this many times, but I'll repeat it again, that what is taqwa? Translators always say pious, or righteousness, or God-fearing. And it becomes strange for somebody who doesn't know what's piousness, because it's not a word we use very much. And it becomes strange to some people because they say, well, you know, coming from a Christian background, for instance, we say God is love. God is love. Why do you want me to fear God? Why should I be afraid of God? Ittaqallah, translate, fear God. Well, actually, everybody's right on this. The problem is the word is bigger than one word. So you could use any of these words and you'd still be right. Allah is al-Wadud. He is the loving. We know that from the Quran. That's not a problem. At the same time, we also know that God, Almighty Allah, He has something called ghadab. Ghadab. And I get to use the line word again, don't I? Ghadab. What is ghadab? This is something we're saying in every one of our prayers every day. When we say ghayro, now that's not the word. Ghayro means not, other than maghdubi, and that's ghadab. Maghdubi. What's maghdubi? People that have Allah's ghadab. Ghadab is what? Who will tell me what's ghadab in English?
Anger.
How many think it's anger? Much stronger.
Right.
Anger is when you're sitting at a traffic light, right? And it turns green and the guy ahead of you, he doesn't go. He's playing with his phone. He's doing what, you know, the cha-cha-cha on the telephone with the and you're like, hey! And you hit the horn and you're like, get out of here. That's anger, right? But the word ghadab is when the guy gets out of the car, opens the trunk, takes out the tire tool, and goes up to the other car and starts breaking out the windshield. That's called wrath. That's called payback, and it's going to be full force. And that's why it says, Ghayrul Maghdubi alayhim. We don't want to be on the path of the ones that Allah is having the wrath on the day of judgment. Maghdubi alayhim. I don't want to be on that. Ghayrul Maghdubi alayhim. I don't want to be on that path. So this is what we understand, and this is why we need taqwa. So what is taqwa? Taqwa is a shield against the wrath of Allah on the day of judgment. A shield. Now, for our kids that like to play with these games, and by the way, anybody under 50 is a kid to me. So anybody playing these hand games, like the little, and you got the monsters attacking you and flames are shooting out, you need to use some of your points to buy a shield against whatever's coming at you, right? That's taqwa. Now you know. Otherwise, your character dies. And then another one comes, and you don't put a shield for him, and then he'll die after 3 characters, the game's over, and you start all over again. Probably. Is that right? Everybody got the idea? Only problem is, on the Yom Kippur, you actually feel it. You're going to suffer if you don't have that taqwa. Plus, without the taqwa, a person could wind up in the Nari Jahannam. Na'udhu billah. He could go to the hellfire, and we seek refuge in Allah from, I don't want to be there. Please don't put us there, right? Okay, so now we understand the first part. Let's read the rest of it. Allah's haqq. It means that it's Allah's right. He has rights. God Almighty has rights on us. He created us. He put us on this planet for a reason. He even told us our purpose. Our purpose, He said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. This is in Surah Al-Dariyat, chapter 51, verse 56. Very clear. He said, I did not create you guys, you jinn and mankind, except for one thing. Ibadah. Ibadah, for worship. Actually, for slavery, voluntary servitude, which we call worship. To who? To Allah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Every human being, I don't care what their belief is, I don't care what their religion is, they're still created for the same thing. You know what it is? To worship something. And they will worship something. Everybody worships something. If you said, no, atheists, he doesn't worship, I got news for you. They worship more than you think. Because they worship their knowledge. They worship themselves. They worship, in other words, they put something ahead of everything else, and whatever you put ahead of everything else, it's your worship. According to Arabic language, this is talking about a form of slavery. You're either a slave to the Creator, or you are a slave to what He created. That's it. Take your choice. Worship the Creator, not the creation. That's the bumper sticker for Guidus TV. And by the way, those of you at home, you'd like to have that bumper sticker, if you'll donate right now to keep Guidus TV on the air, I promise you this, as soon as the new ones come in, and I ran out, okay? As soon as the new ones come in, every single person on our list, even if they already got one before, we're going to start mailing them out and try to get them all out by the end of the year. Okay? So put it on your bumper sticker, and if you don't have a bumper, you can put it on your back windshield. And if you don't have a windshield, you shouldn't be driving your car down the road, okay? So take the bumper sticker when your neighbor's asleep and put it on his... No, never mind. Never mind. That's on TV, right? Okay, I didn't say... Did I say that? Was that a lie? Okay, anyhow. But I want to be serious about this, because the next thing it says in the verse, it says, and don't die. Don't die, except in a state of aslam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Don't die except in a state of being a true Muslim. What does a Muslim mean? He's one who has aslama. Aslama is the verb for the word Islam. It's also the verb for the one who doesn't, called a Muslim. And once we get that in our head, all we need to know now is what is aslama. Aslama in the English language doesn't have a word. It has a group of words that have to be there at the same time, or it's not aslama. Surrender, submission, obedience, sincerity, and peace, and this is the beginning of it. It's enough to get the word across to you right now. The sincerity that has to be there with Allah cannot be bought and paid for. Nobody can be forced to be sincere, true or false. So, when we talk about sincerity, has to be a part of it. Nobody can be forced to be a Muslim. Islam cannot spread by a sword. People's agendas are always spread by force. We know that. But when it comes to Islam, nobody could come into Islam by force, because it wouldn't be Islam. Simple as that. And if our translators had been more true to this, then we wouldn't be in the problem we have today, because nobody could be able to say Islam spread by the sword, because people would be like, say what? What? Doesn't work. Anyway, so now you get that, the idea of surrender to God, submit to God, obey His commandments, be sincere with Allah, and this is real important. After you did all of that, you're going to find out whether you're sincere. You know how? Because you've got to be in peace with Allah no matter what He gives you. Many times I get letters and emails, and I get also a lot of text messages, people telling me, oh, I came to Islam and then I got problems and this problem and that problem. Why me? And I don't tell them you don't understand. No, I get real serious with them, because I'm telling them, look, you came to Islam, you said you want to obey God no matter what He gives you. Well, that's what He gave you. Why are you complaining? We have tried to help you all we can, but you got to understand, if Allah gave you a disability, that's what He gave you. If He gave you cancer, say alhamdulillah. Why should I say alhamdulillah, man? A disease, why should I be happy? I didn't tell you to be happy. I said, say alhamdulillah. Doesn't mean you're happy. It means you're saying thank you to Allah for whatever He gives you. Because anything that Allah gives a believer is khair for him. Some of you complained about the fact that we have this lovely new fellow coming in as president. The billionaire genius. No, that's what he said. I believe him. I think he believes that. So, okay, you want to complain about it. Some people said they're going to run away, going to go to another country. I like what one of our engineers posted the other day. Did you hear about it? Yeah. Where he is, it snowed and it got real cold. He just said this, but it really applies to everything. He said, so it snowed last night. You went outside and you got cold, so you want to move to Florida. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a problem, now you want to run away. Somebody said if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Yeah? What I'm telling you is, if you can't handle being a Muslim, don't sign up. Because a Muslim is a serious thing. It's not a joke. And here's the reality of it. It is reality. That's the reality of it. I hope you understand. Yeah. It's the only thing that makes any sense. The creation didn't pop up out of nothing. It didn't accidentally come about. A real scientist has to admit that it had to come from somewhere. Intelligence doesn't come out of rocks. So hello, there is a God. Bottom line. Who is it? Well, it's up to you to figure it out. But if you ask, without really seeing or giving any kind of an assignment to God, if you say, God, whatever you are, wherever you are, guide me, you'll find out. Because that's what happened to me. That's what happened to him. That's what happened to the sister on the phone with us. That's what happened to every single person who entered into Islam. They did the same thing. Somewhere down the line they said, God, I'm not going to figure this out if you don't show me. Ibrahim alayhi salam said essentially the same thing. If you don't guide me, I'm not going to get guided. And by the way, I think now you figured out why we call it Guidance TV. Now you got it. All right. Some people thought I meant guide the U.S. Oh, we don't need that. We got a trump card for that. What? Was that out loud too? Anyway, yeah. You know where we're going. Anyhow. So, what I'm trying to communicate to all of us, to realize the reality, there really is a God. And if you want a relationship with Him, it's wide open. He'd love for you to come on, but understand you're signing up for a test. Be ready for it. And don't complain. That's the last thing. And by the way, just so you know it, when we ask you, Kefavik, how are you? Huh? We really don't want to know. We want you to say Alhamdulillah, let's move on, okay? So please, all right? I know. You're going to tell me all about how your leg hurts. Okay, I got a leg too, all right? You want to tell me about your wife, give you a hard time? My wife's from Texas, shut up. Leave it alone, all right? She's watching. Now let go. That was out loud. Okay, anyhow, you got the idea, right? So what are you going to say? Somebody said, Kayfa Halik.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, listen to this guy, you get it down.
Teach him good.
She taught you good, didn't she? All right. Anyhow, we really want to emphasize to our brothers and sisters the importance of knowing really the basic of Islam, living the basic of Islam, being the person that other people say, gosh, I want to be like that. Or, hey, if I need anything, that man like that, I can trust him. He's my neighbor. He's got my back covered, you know? And when people feel like that, they don't need to ask you what your religion is. They just say, you know what? I like this guy. When I'm with this guy, I just feel like comfortable. I don't have that fear that he's going to say something to somebody else about me. I don't worry. I'll give you one example, and then I'm going to take some phone calls. Inshallah. This really did happen. It happened in Indiana. I heard about it. That there was one of our brothers from the Desi community, from probably Pakistan, Bangladesh, somewhere. And he was just a beautiful brother, goes home, minds his own business, but on the way, walking home, apartment downstairs, he lived upstairs, apartment downstairs, a man would give him a dirty look when he would go by. Or he'd say something to him, go back where you came from. You know, that kind of stuff. But you know, it's fine, just, okay, just go on. Then one day, the brother noticed that the man's newspapers on his doorstep and mail in the mailbox. He knocked on the door. The man didn't come. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. So the brother began collecting the mail and the newspapers and putting it in a bag for him. After a couple of weeks, the man came back. How did he know? Because there was no mail, there was no newspaper that day. So the brother knocked his door. He opened the door and said, what do you want? He said, here's your newspapers and here's your mail. 2 bags, give it to me. He said, whoa. Wow, how can you do that? He said, well, if I pick it up and take care of it, then it won't get wet because, you know, maybe it'll rain. Also, if people know that you're not home, maybe they'll rob your house. The man was so impressed. He said, you know what? I misread you, man. I'm so sorry. He said, what you just did for me, nobody ever did like this for me before. Well, he'd say, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And he said, no, it's okay, it's okay. My religion teaches me to do that for anybody. The man came to him another time and he said, can I know more about your faith, what you believe in that? He said, I'm a Muslim. He said, I figured that because I saw stuff on TV. But tell me more about it. The man went with him to the masjid. They even told the man, I'm not going to become a Muslim, I just want to see what you do. He went to the masjid. He read some booklets. Guess what? The man became a Muslim. From what? From what? And this man became a good Muslim, no matter what anybody else said or did about Islam. He understood from what? The action. The same thing happened to me. I traveled for 3 months with a brother from Egypt. And when I would see what he was doing, I'd say, if we could just get this man to Christianity, we could make him a saint while he's still alive. Never dawned on me at the time. I needed to look at what he's doing and see if I could fit into that. But finally Allah guided me, alhamdulillah. But this is not the story tonight about me coming to Islam. What I'm saying is that if we will just do the things that Allah has shown us to do with the example of the Rahmatul Alameen, which is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is the one, the example for us. And we just do it. You'd be surprised how many times people would say, oh, this Islam, mashallah, I need to learn more about this Islam. Now they will. So this is my encouragement for all of us. See the beauties in your life, not just in your mouth, not just in your hand, but do it. Take it out to the world. Then your children, and this is our biggest subject, what about the future of our children? They have no chance if you're not going to live the life of a true Muslim. There's no chance. And one of those things that they have to have is the environment during the day. Not just 1 hour at night when you finally show up and go, hey, what's up? Let's watch TV together. That's not it. This is why we are stressing and pushing for the chance, for the school. And many of you know about the school because we just talked about it before we came on the air. But whatever you were thinking about doing for that school, I want you to double it.